Hey, everybody, it's Keith with Trades Education Center, and we're back with another episode of Trade Secrets, the official podcast of Trades Education Center. And I'm very excited to have one of our original supporters here with us today. And this goes back to, I think, lunch
Yes,
at Jack's Public House in Brazelton. So
right.
I have with me Kevin Crane from Harry Warren of Georgia.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
Yes.
Cool. And I'm excited to have him because once again, as we continue to share with you more and more people in the industry, you get to learn more about the industry and the different career paths that are available. So take it away, Kevin.
Okay.
Welcome.
Well, thank you. Where would you like me to start?
Well, I guess we can start with, how in the world, I guess first with how we connected in terms of the trade school, what made y'all interested in what we're doing? And I just want to kind of toot y'all's horn a little bit about how y'all supported us.
So I would say my relationship with Tim Davis is how we got involved in it. He explained to me that he's trying to start this school to help people get into our industry because of the shortage of people that are coming and the age of the people that are here. And I, I always have wanted to support the industry. I've been in it almost 50 years now, since I was 20, and I'm
Good on you.
67 coming up on. But so even when I was starting in the plumbing, I was at a wholesaler, and I became an outside salesman after all the other jobs that I learned along the way. And I got involved with the PHCC
Okay.
in Broward County, and I was the wholesaler side of the plumbing organization. I was a representative from the wholesale side, and I got involved in the blood bank as a fundraiser for that. And so that activity got me involved outside of my job.
Okay.
You did that at night. And then I've kind of always done that as I got through the industry and became a representative for my own agency that I started. I got involved with AMAR, which is the Association of Independent Manufacturers Representatives,
Okay.
because that's the professional side and the technical side and the learning side of what we need to do in our industry to satisfy our manufacturers.
Okay.
So I've kind of always supported outside the actual job that I had.
Yeah.
So for me, this was a great opportunity. I live in Gainesville. He's in Gainesville, and y'all are here, and I'm getting close to retirement. So I might even look for something to do. I could do one of these once a week. No.
Come on in.
But yeah, that's kind of how I got involved.
Well, I like from the get-go, I love the fact that you've seen that bigger picture of the industry, not just your job.
Right.
And I think that's also something that we're trying to do as we bring in new people into the industry is don't just look at it as a job. Like look at it as you're supporting an entire industry,
Mm-hmm.
and you're supporting people's livelihoods, their health, their safety. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's more than just
A
a
job.
job.
Yep. Yep. And I've always wanted it to be more than just a job.
All right, so how did you get into it in the first place? How did you get into plumbing adjacent, whatever you want to call it?
Okay. So
Highs and lows.
highs and lows. Well, it started off as part-time job, summer job in Colorado. I did new construction plumbing as a helper,
Okay.
cutting holes in wood and spinning around and, hauling pipe and doing all this. And but it was a summer job, and I went back to college, and then I left college and stayed in town, and I looked for a job, and I got a job as a plumber's helper and
Okay.
went down their apprenticeship program. But I only stayed like a year because I was in Western Pennsylvania. It was too cold, too brutal. I mean, what these plumbers do, it's like Mike Rowe,
Dirty jobs is a
dirty
real thing.
jobs. I mean, what they do. And I was like, that's not for me. Well, I moved to South Florida to go to Florida Atlantic University to get
Okay.
my degree. And I needed a job. So I paid my way through college going at night school. I got a job in a supply house. And I always like to say, plumbing at that level doesn't pay very well. My first job was a driver, delivery, warehouse, all that, and 3.25 an hour. That's where I started. Of course, that was a long time ago, but you know, I was looking for a path to make a better living. You
Sure.
know, so you know, from the warehouse to the driver to the counter guy, and then
Okay.
I became an outside salesman for the supply house. And it's just a coincidence that it was plumbing. I didn't chase plumbing. I chased a job for a truck driver at 3.25 and didn't get the first interview. I had to go back
That's
to get
brutal.
that job.
You're like, wow.
But you know, it kept me earning money so I can go to college.
Okay.
And you know, I've told all my kids, you know, as they grew up, I never needed a college degree in my business.
Yeah.
But it sure did help that I got it. I got it for myself, not for a job or a certain category of job that, you know, I wanted. It was just something I wanted to achieve.
A betterment.
Yeah. And and lo and behold, it came very handy when I started an agency.
Sure.
You know, that I knew what I was doing when it came to business law, when it came to accounting, when it came, you know, I didn't do any of that, but I sat down with the accountant and better understood what he was trying to tell me, you know,
Yeah.
and whether it be that or insurance matters or all those kinds of things. The degree helped, but never needed it to get the job.
Sure.
So after the wholesale side, there was a plumbing rep in South Florida that I would call up all the time because he's came out with this new product called polybutylene, which we now know is banned in multiple lawsuits. But I was out selling that when it was brand new, and he didn't like that I kept calling him up to do presentations. He was like, "Hey, you're wearing me out." He didn't have time, and so he one day asked me if I wanted to join his agency. So I went there again from the plumbing side, you know, up the ladder on the wholesale side,
Sure.
and then ventured into being an independent rep for an agency. That agency went under in 2 years,
Okay.
and one of their biggest lines went factory on them, and
Oh, wow.
didn't use
Okay.
independent reps anymore. They wanted to
Sure.
use factory guys. So we lost that line. The agency crumbled.
Hmm.
And one of the manufacturers that we repped was Benjamin Manufacturing here in Atlanta, which was what brought me to Georgia.
No kidding.
Yeah, he asked me, or they asked me, you know, if I would be interested in moving and becoming a regional sales manager.
Wow.
I went, that's a good connection for me because I got my degree in business, and you know, I was in sales, and I'm going to manage. I was in business management, so it was a natural tie-in.
Yeah.
And they were a small company. But they serviced the whole nation. They had a plant in Atlanta here, out off Thornton Road, and they had a plant in Southern California.
Wow.
So I started as a regional manager, flying from New England to Florida to Midwest
Good night.
every day, and you know, had 3 kids growing up at home,
Wow.
and it was a lot of travel. And
Yeah.
eventually, I became their national sales manager,
Okay.
and then I was like, I've got to do something else. Well, while I was doing that, I got engaged with the AMAR
Okay.
organization in the state,
Okay.
and became the president of AMAR
Of course.
eventually.
Because why not add to your plate, right?
Right. But it was being active in the
Yeah.
local, and what
Yeah.
we need to do as a group. We can't fight each other trying to get a sale. We need to work together to
Yeah.
lift everybody. And
Ah.
that was why I got involved with them. And during that, I met my business partner and founder of United Sales, Pete Cook.
Okay.
And Pete was in AMAR and I was in AMAR, and we would see each other and talk. And eventually we realized we're both not in the right place. We're in the right business, but we're not in the right place. And we talked about starting a business together. And we rode out of the recession of 92.
Wow.
We started our agency in 91, at the end of 91. And, you know, we just went to a national convention, which to a PHCC at the time,
Okay.
and we met manufacturers. We had no jobs. We had business cards, and we handed them out. Said,
That sounds.
we're available if you need a rep."
I feel
And
like I've been somewhere like that before.
yeah,
Anyway, go ahead.
and so it turned out really well that we walked away from that trade show with 5 product lines to start our agency.
Wow.
And we struggled hard for the first couple 3 years,
Mhm.
and then it all started coming back, and it started to grow,
Yeah.
and it was a great experience. So I was there for 20 years. Pete and I were partners, and then you've had Doug on.
Yep.
Doug Dyson joined us during that period, and Dan Burns joined us during that period, and it was a good thing. And they're still in business today, which is what I'm very proud of. Is that it carried on. That was the whole idea, was to hopefully have people join the company that would
Take it
eventually
further.
buy you out, and so you could retire.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out. Trust me. There's a lot of guys that'll tell you it's hard to get out and without just walking away,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, because people feel like they can do it. And, you know, if you got out, they'll get the line. They don't have to buy you to get that line. And that's kind of the mentality for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But anyway, for me, it was the recession of 2008. It was very painful. And my other partners were able to weather the storm. I wasn't. I was like, look, guys, you know, if that's what we're going to earn this year,
Uh,
I got to look for a real job. Selling's fun, but you know, I need to pay the bills. And that's when I went to Harry Warren.
Okay.
And that was the start of my Harry Warren career, which has been almost 15 years.
Wow. And you've
So,
had like 5 careers, man.
I do. I know. 20 years there and 15 years here, and I plan to retire out of Harry Warren.
Cool.
And they've treated me very well, and it's great to be involved with all the customers that I'm involved with because of the brands that they have that are of such great demand.
Yeah.
That you are more of a supportive role and a training role, and new products come out. You pitch those, but they love the brands.
Yeah. Well, you know, something that we're seeing here is, you know, if we're good at what we're doing here and introducing new people into the industry, introducing them to good brands,
Mm-hmm.
then one, they're going to know what a good brand is.
Mm-hmm.
And then second, probably going to be loyal to that brand.
More than likely, and that's why we're very supportive of what you're doing. Is you know, we've got A.O. Smith and Odie and Watts, and you know, a lot of our products involved here because we want them to try them. We want them to get hooked on them. You know?
Well, you know, it's interesting now that I've, you know, heard part of your story, heard Doug's, and then Taylor very recently, and looking at how similar all three are in terms of having been in several different parts of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like in particular, like you and Taylor share that starting in new construction. And then of course, then you moved into, you know, warehouse or wholesale. But then you and Doug with wholesale
Mm-hmm.
and manufacturing rep. And it's interesting to hear that over time where there's, I guess the point I'm trying to make in saying that is you don't have to stick with one thing or another in this industry.
Very true. And that's a big point, is that it's not just, you know, I'm in the sales side, and I never wanted to be a salesman. I never chose to be in the plumbing industry either. It just kind of
Chose you.
you gravitate to it, and then you elevate yourself, and then you're of value, you
Yeah.
know, and it doesn't take long because we need people to get into the business, and then do a good job, work hard, nose to the grindstone stuff, and
Relationships.
and the career you'll find it. I mean, I found it that way.
Yeah.
And none of them really were choices.
Well, it's funny you say that. I mean, I you know, I've talked a lot with Greg, Chris's dad, and Greg Griffin, and you know, he says the same thing about, you know, once you get in it, like try to learn everything you can.
Mm-hmm.
And keep growing, keep learning, because everything you learn to do, nobody can take that from you.
Right.
Like once you have that skill, once you have that knowledge, nobody can come and grab that from you and go, well, you can't do that anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I can. I've got the knowledge of
Mm-hmm.
pumps. I've got the knowledge of PRVs.
Mm-hmm.
I know what brands do this and that. Like, and I think that speaks a lot to your success when y'all started United Sales together. Was y'all didn't come in, because I'm sure from the outside looking in, people can say, well, those guys like found it overnight. Well, Well, no,
Mm-mm, no.
there were years and years going into the fact that y'all started that business.
Right.
Like you don't start a business like that
Nope.
without the knowledge and experience that y'all had going in.
And the relationships. One of the things I would stress is it's all about the relationships. It's how you get to know people and support people and do all that, that everything comes back to you. And you know, that's what I would encourage anybody to do is to just always do the right thing, work hard, develop good relationships, and they'll carry you during those hard times.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I mean, you were able to transition from United to Harry Warren. I'm sure it wasn't because you didn't know anybody at Harry Warren. Like, I'm
Right.
sure you have relationships and were able to kind of, again, the industry, right?
Hmm.
Once you get in, once you're supporting it yourself, you're fine. You're supported by the industry.
Yep. Yeah. My timing with Harry Warren was very good. They were looking for to grow in Georgia, and I was a residential guy, and it was like, you know, I knew what I'm doing, that I didn't have to be taught, and I had the relationships because I'd been doing it already.
Yeah.
It was just I needed to um, make a living better than I was doing. So
Well,
there's been ups and downs,
yeah.
but overall, everything ended up really good.
Cool. Well, you mentioned that you focus on residential, but we were talking beforehand. That's not the only thing that Harry Warren does, right?
Oh gosh, no. I mean, they're a big agency. They're what they call a mega agency.
Okay.
We buy sell products. We have Fiat and Taco are buy sell very good lines for us. Watts is not a buy sell, but is our biggest line that has multiple divisions where we get into fire and underground utility and hospitals, and
Wow.
residential is a very small part actually of what Harry Warren does. I mean,
Yeah.
they're on the irrigation side, just fire sprinkler side. So if somebody gets into the plumbing industry, there's all those avenues that we need people in all of those avenues. And somebody may be very technical, and we need technical expertise. We need training people, um,
Marketing,
marketing people. You know, uh, so there's, you don't have to be a plumber. Not that that's not a good thing,
right?
but you could be other things and be in this industry, start off here, get some knowledge, get into a wholesaler or a plumber, and learn what they're doing and see if it's what you like.
Yeah.
But you certainly can make a living, and you certainly could find a job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, I think everybody I've talked to since we've been doing this school that's in the plumbing industry or tangentially related to the plumbing industry, I never have to look for a job. I
Hmm.
mean, if I do, if I quit here today, by tomorrow, I could probably have,
Hmm.
if not a job, possibly an offer.
Yep.
If, once again, going back to what you said earlier, if you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to grow and maintain good relationships,
Hmm.
right? Honesty, integrity, and all those good things.
Hmm.
Um, Something you mentioned about, about all those other aspects of fire suppression, hospital, like med gas,
Hmm.
like once again, I think because of where we're starting here at the school, I mean, we're really focused on beginning residential
Hmm.
plumbing, but holy cow, that like the med gas side is massive.
Hmm.
And once again, I know people probably get tired of us talking about how important plumbing is. We keep saying it.
Yeah.
I don't know if people believe it yet. But, when you break it down to safe and clean water,
Yeah.
medical gas for hospitals, fire suppression
Mm.
for any any size building over the size of I don't know. I don't know how many square feet you have to have fire suppression,
Right. I don't either.
but the point being, it's all incredibly important. And I think, like you said, and I remember that first conversation at Jack's Public House where you and Mike both said, "Man, we're interested not just because the industry needs it, like you just said, we need it ourselves. Like the wholesale representative agency side needs people as well."
Hmm. Very much so.
Because you're like, I would like to retire sometime, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I was chasing when I left my own company that I started. You know, it's like people are always like,
Need an exit
"How did
ramp.
how did you? Why would you?" You know, and I'm like, Hey, it just came down to being able to afford to,
Yeah.
and then rebuilt from there. And
Golly.
I was fortunate that Harry Warren was uh, ready, willing, and able to hire me.
Yeah.
And so it basically changed what I did from thinking I was, running a company, where I was running a company with Pete, and it was more of, I don't like that.
It's a lot.
I don't. It's not really what I wanted to be doing. It's just where I went,
Yeah.
and when now I'm actually I'm better suited to who I am and what I like at Harry Warren, because when I went to them, I said, "Look, I don't want to own your company. I don't want to buy in. I just want to be a salesman.
Yeah.
Give me a
Yeah.
territory, and I'll be a salesman." And it's funny. My grandfather said when I was 2 or 3 years old, "Salesman Sam over here is going to sell ice cream Eskimos." And I was like, I'm never going to be a salesman. They're all liars and cheaters. And, I had this bad connotation of what a salesman's supposed to be. And I said, well, I'm not going to be that one.
Well, hey,
But I'm best suited as a salesman,
yeah.
just a relationship guy, and try to
Yeah.
show you new products and see if you like it. And if you don't, so what?
That's cool. Well, and I'm glad you said that about, it's not the owning a business is incredibly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's again another side that I'm learning is there's a lot of great plumbers out there, but they are not great businessmen.
That's very true.
And so it's that side is something a lot of people don't talk about. And I think I think that's why we're seeing a lot of the private equity coming in, buying up a lot of these smaller businesses
Mm-hmm.
because the guys that own them they're done.
Right.
They're like, I am like you. I'm done running the business. Like it's
Right.
driving me nuts.
Or learning new ways to do things.
Yeah.
Or how do I use this phone? I mean, when you
You
get my age, it becomes a problem.
you want me to send you what? How? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be an interesting thing to watch, in now and in the coming years is how's that relationship going to play out with private equity? Are they going to do a great job with the plumbing service side and new construction, or are they not going to know enough about the trade that they're only focused on the finance side?
I can see that being a problem.
I-
Yeah.
th- That's a concern we have
Yeah.
for sure. From what we're watching and some first hand study or first hand cases that we've seen
Mm-hmm.
is there's a concern there.
Right.
Because again, I think part of it is there's people in the business world that think, well, I'm going to come in and rescue this plumbing company because they don't know anything about running a business. Well, they were in business for at least a while,
Right.
so they they might not have been pretty, but they figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really, and I say that to swing it back to you guys. I think that's another thing that y'all help with is educating not just the wholesalers, but educating plumbers
Right.
because y'all can bring new products to their attention that are going to help them capitalize on some different types of jobs where they can clear a little bit more money for themselves so that they can stay in business.
There's a lot of opportunities for contractors to grow in different veins, but I find through my experience over the years, they're really happy just making the living they're making and not wanting to take it to another level. You show
Yeah.
them something new. I'll give you an example. I built a house here in Gainesville, and I found a local plumber, but he did all track kind of housing, and I was building an entry level house, but I had the resources to get
Better
fancy
thing.
stuff. Right? He didn't want to put it in, and I was like, "Why don't you want to put it in?" I said, "This is really good. It's and it does this and it does that." And he goes, he just wanted to put in what he put in every day
Because that's what he's
because
used
he
to.
knew what it was. He knew how it worked. And
It's plug and play for him at that point, right?
I was trying to explain to him that if you learn this stuff,
Mm.
you could charge more because other people don't know it. And if you learn the higher end products that people
Mm-hmm.
want in their homes,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be the plumber they're going to ask for
Mm-hmm.
because you've had the experience. But if you've never had the experience, and he didn't want the experience. He told me, I don't, absolutely not my game. I
No
was like,
kidding.
okay, well, everybody's different. And that wasn't his thing. But I thought, boy,
Man.
there's a need for plumbers that want to want to learn how to do tankless water heaters or heat pump, which is coming down the road. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
the industry's always changing because of Department of Energy, changes
Hmm.
things for us, and we have to adapt. And you got to teach plumbers new things. And they get a water heater, they go out and the water heater's leaking, they want to give them the same one. They don't want to give them
Like
the
for
sales
like.
pitch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that's where the private equity, I think, helps. They kind of marriage everything to an HVAC, plumbing, and electrical.
Yeah.
They try and get into your house and be the guy that you
Does
always
everything.
call, that does everything, and that's a very successful thing. I mean,
Yeah.
they're doing great with that. And then you have the plumbers that just have been doing it all their life and will do it till they're done. you know. So you don't sell everybody. That's something you learned a long time ago. Is everybody's different. You're not going to sell everybody everything. You just all you could do is present it.
Yeah. Well, I think just made me think about this too is what, how are things settling out? We were just talking about before we recorded. How are things settling out with tariffs?
With tariffs. Um, I think he's made a lot of progress in leveling the playing field.
Sure.
I think it's going to help our national debt
Sure.
and reduce the taxes on the American people. Uh, there's two sides to that coin. A lot of people say, "Well, no, we're paying for all the tariffs," and it's like, I don't know. I haven't seen it that much. I mean, prices are going up, but they're always going up.
Yeah.
How much of that is tariff related? I mean, we're running into shortages. We're running into outages coming from overseas,
Okay.
and a lot of manufacturers are since COVID actually have made all kinds of changes in their supply chain to not have that affect them. And you know, it there is some effect as far as supply and demand, prices going up, but until we fix the housing crisis and we get some better interest rates and get things turning, which I think we're on the verge of. I think it'll happen this year. I'm an
Yeah.
optimist because I'm a salesman, but but I really think things are really on the cusp of
Yeah.
changing, and we're going to see a really good 2026.
Well, I mean, I would point to one of the companies y'all represent. I mean, A.O. Smith, they opened that massive facility down in Mexico, right?
Hmm.
I mean, that's not a small investment in North America to do that.
No, if I remember right, something like $40 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is a big number. And they have a manufacturing facility down there for tank type, and they just put it right next to it. And so they have a separate tankless manufacturing facility, and they'll be making their own, and we won't have to worry about unloading ships in LA.
Wow. That's an issue.
Which gets backed up pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah, sure does. Which I'm glad we have our Georgia ports here, but
Yeah.
but I'm trying to think of. I mean, gosh, I feel like we've covered a lot. What do you hope to see? What do you hope to see happen for Harry Warren, for the plumbing industry as a whole? Like, what are the most glaring issues that you can see in the plumbing industry, and how are you hoping they change?
I think you're right on point. Having education, getting people into our industry, the shortage of people and the age of the industry is hurting us, and we need to grow this side. We need to get people involved. Whether they may be a technical person, they may be an electronic person, they may be there's a job and there's a need,
Yeah,
and it is low pay at the beginning,
sure.
but I've made a good living in the plumbing industry. Didn't plan to, but it's what happens. And anybody that puts, the thing is finding what avenue you like.
Yeah,
Do you like being in the wholesale side? Do you like being on the rep side? Do you like being on the manufacturing side of
hmm,
plumbing? Just get your base of knowledge here and learn about different things, and you can expand that out and learn as you go and find another job that suits you better. I mean, but get in the channel
yeah.
because
Well, and early, right? I mean,
yes,
I
early.
think that's the other thing I'm hearing from you, from Doug, from Taylor is even if you're not sure if it's gonna be a career,
Right,
try it.
right.
Try it out. You might find. I mean, gosh, I had her on last year, Addie, or earlier this year, Addie Utz from Wind Supply. She interned with Wind Supply over the summer
Hmm.
between her junior and senior year of college, and she's like, fell in love with the company.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm doing plumbing now. Like,
Right.
and I think that, and like you too, I think another thing younger people need to hear is you don't have to necessarily start off out of college.
Nope.
You can go chase that later. Like
Or on the side.
you did that,
Mm-hmm.
Greg did that, and because of that, y'all were both able to parlay that into owning and running your own business, even
Mm-hmm.
though
Mm-hmm.
you got out later, but it gave you that opportunity.
Right.
And I think that's something that I think we've so, and I'm part of that generation where we were told if you don't immediately go to college after you graduate, you are going to be a failure.
Yeah.
You're going to be in a van down by the river, right? I don't have a van down by the river, uh, but yeah, I think opening up the idea that there's several different ways to be successful and several ways to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad to hear you say that. I think that's
Well,
going to be a big
I
deal.
have three sons between 36 and 40, and none of them in the plumbing industry. And one of them wanted to just ride the coattails and, oh, dad owns the company. I could just go work for dad. And I was like, it's not happening, guys. I'm telling you. At the time, which is 15 years ago, I was concerned that the rep agency would collapse.
No
And
kidding.
they'd put in more factory guys and there'd be more consolidation and they wouldn't, because it was happening in different areas, especially
Okay.
during the recession, 2008. And I was like, guys, this is not where I think you need to be. You need to follow your own paths. And fortunately, they did, and they're all doing very well. Yeah, but they're all different. One's a mechanic.
That's awesome.
He owns a boat shop in Jacksonville and sells Suzuki and Mercury's and repairs, service shop, a whole thing. And he went to college at night to get his finally.
Okay.
And then my middle son, he went to college. He was the only one. He went straight to college on the hope, thank God. And he got into Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
At 25, he was the second youngest owner of a Chick-fil-A. He
No,
still has it today out in California.
no
Yeah,
kidding.
he's doing incredibly well.
That's fantastic.
And my youngest went into the Army. He tried construction. He tried working for Chick-fil-A because his brother said,
Yeah.
come on, I'll get you a job.
Yeah.
Hated it all, went into the Army, and he's done fantastic. He's getting ready. He's going to retire when I retire.
Wow.
So there's lots of paths.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think to me, you just named three right there that are equally worthy of chasing after.
Yeah.
I mean, being a mechanic,
Mm-hmm.
man, you can get into that pretty early,
Mm-hmm.
and then
He did. With old cars and fixing things up, and went to North Georgia Tech. Tried to work on cars and stuff, but he always had a talent. And I told him one day because he was job hopping, going from job to job to job. And he was on my back porch wondering what he's going to do. And I said, Brian, my advice to you is determine what your God-given talent is. And then think about what is your passion.
mm,
You put those two things together, you'll never work. You'll earn a good living.
Yeah.
And he did. Mechanics was his thing.
man.
He had an ear for listening to something's wrong with that. Oh, that's this.
Hey, that's an art.
He had a talent there,
Man.
and his passion is fishing. I can show you so many fishing things. So I said, you need to be in the boat industry.
mechanic.
You need to be in the boat industry. And sure enough, that's what he's done, and he's done exceptionally well.
See, you mentioned Micro earlier. One of my favorite, most recent quotes that I've heard of his is either get good at what you love or learn how to love what you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
That's
that's
very good.
it right there,
Yes.
which is exactly what your son did,
Yep.
right? I
Yep.
mean, he's loved fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good with his hands. Like,
Yep.
well, and even on the Chick-fil-A side, I think, Chick-fil-A, I think the way they've designed their company and how they grow people is incredibly smart.
Mm-hmm.
I've had several friends that have been in the company at different times. I've got one he's groundbreaking on a third location out in Carrollton, and he's been with him since he was in high school.
Yeah, Matt
And,
too.
I mean, right?
It's Matt's only job. He started at 15. went going being so high, and got a job at Chick-fil-A. I told him, I said, I'm on the road, and you're going to need to work. 'Cause- and he got that job, and he never left it
Yeah.
because
Again,
they're a great company. They mentor you. They see talent, and they have mentors that I know. Matt's mentor, was with him and still with him today,
well,
from high school.
and I'm gonna piggyback on that as far as the trades go, because I think that's what I'm begging and begging some of the guys that are on the verge of retirement or have retired. I'm begging them, don't leave us. Like even for here, like come spend one evening with our guys.
Hmm.
Just whether you just want to watch what they're doing, share your knowledge and experience, something like you have such a wealth of knowledge and experience. Don't leave the industry.
Right.
Like and I know a lot of times they get this idea that I don't want to go to work. This, trust me, this for people that are experienced and knowledgeable, this is not work here.
Hmm.
This is it's fun. It's a lot of joy that you get from being here. And I say that because Greg said that, because we've had a couple guys, one of the other instructors we have loves coming here because he gets to give back. And like you said, that mentorship, I think
Hmm.
that's what I'm begging and begging right now
I,
is
I,
for guys
I
to
saw
mentor.
that after our first lunch. I even told Tim, I said, I could see myself being engaged in this after retirement when I'm done, engaged in it now, but then it has something to do and some activity, and,
Yeah.
get out and see how things are going.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best of success.
Well, again, we wouldn't be as far as we are without people like you and Mike, being so supportive very early on. I mean, y'all tried to get us over at the water tower and everything.
Yeah, we did.
And man, but again,
Yeah,
speaking of how y'all impact the industry, the facility y'all have there, it contributes to the industry
sure.
all the time. If y'all don't know, Harry Warren has a great facility over at the water tower in Gwinnett County. Gosh, one of the most advanced water treatment facilities in the nation.
Hmm.
But you'll have a training
Training,
facility
training
on
facility.
backflow.
You have to teach you backflow, PRVs, all kinds of technical, sanitary, important stuff. They do there, and yeah, you could take plumbing as far as you want to take it. I mean, it's in everything, everywhere.
It
I mean,
is.
what's big in our industry right now, it's driving a lot of it is data centers.
Oh
And
man.
now we're going to have all these AI centers. There's so much plumbing that goes into that, but that's technical. You need to know what you're doing, and you get in and learn something, and then find the path that interests you there, where you'll do. You don't mind going to school at night and figuring
Yeah.
that thing out.
Yeah. Well,
And,
because I mean, all those things you just mentioned, it's not just the building of those facilities in the first place.
mm-hmm,
It's all the maintenance and upkeep that comes afterwards.
exactly.
I mean, we keep saying around here, I don't think the data has caught up with what we need.
Right.
I really don't.
No.
I think that's why we're so adamant to keep pushing at what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, why we're appreciative that we have people like you all supporting us.
Thank you.
So, um, got any last words for us?
Join the industry and have fun. There's a lot of great people. I think what I felt most comfortable about, I never was going to be a white collar corporate guy. I knew that young, and, this industry for blue collar people, there's just a lot of good people that work hard, that are good to the bone, and, you know, come join,
Yeah.
learn something and grow a career, because there's lots of paths you can make it happen. If you're concerned about what am I going to do, get started.
There you go. And for that matter, I know y'all are across the nation,
Hmm.
right? I mean, so it's not like you gotta, well, I'm always gonna be stuck here. Chances are you can find somewhere
Oh,
to go.
definitely. Definitely. Like I said, the demand for the people is incredible. It's just the pay scale is so low. It's hard to attract them. But that's only at the entry level.
I was gonna
Once you
say,
get past the entry level, the pay scale goes up pretty rapidly.
well, let's be honest. Everybody needs to prove themselves.
Yeah.
Don't expect a payday before you walk in the door.
Hmm.
Like you need to show that you're worth that company's time and investment,
Hmm.
that you're not going to walk after 3 months because
Yeah.
or 6 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that's the other side of that coin. Is it's understandable. I mean, whether it's fast food or big companies,
Yep.
they need to know that you're invested,
Yes.
and once they know, the rewards will come.
Yep.
So
Very much so.
cool, Kevin. Appreciate your time again,
Thanks,
folks.
Keith.
Kevin
Thank
Crane
you.
with Harry Warren of Georgia. Y'all, if you're not aware of who they are, you should go look them up. They supply so many sides of the plumbing industry, not just here in Georgia, but across the nation. And again, another career path, manufacturing representative agencies, a great career path. Again, go look them up. Thank these guys again for supporting TEC. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Trade Secrets, the official podcast of Trades Education Center. Y'all have a great one.